Good morning, everybody. Great to see you all here. We'll just wait a few moments to let everybody in.
Yeah, I'm just keeping my eye on the waiting room for everybody to let everyone in.
Okay.
Quite a few joining us now. For anyone wondering, we converted this into a meeting. We decided it'd be much nicer if you could all see us properly and we could see some of you that are willing to have their cameras on.
So while we're waiting, I'm in sunny Leeds at the moment, as you probably can't tell by my accent. Tim, where are you?
I'm down in Bristol. Yeah, in the West Country.
I'm South London. I'm down south.
Down south. So we're all over the place. So if you wouldn't mind just putting into the chat where you are, it'd be great to know a bit more about you.
And see some really familiar faces. Hello, Deb. How you doing, sweetheart?
Victoria, Oxford.
Glad that those who have got their cameras on, like dressed for the occasion, which is good. I don't see anyone in pajamas just yet. That's the thing, isn't it? When we change it from a webinar to a meeting and everyone's like, hey, I'm in my bed in pajamas. That's not fair.
Carla, have you got your football shirt on? You just mentioned the football's on soon. You ready to watch it?
No football shirt, but I've got it on the other screen.
Excellent. I think it's 11 or 11:30 kickoff.
Amanda, I don't remember if you were in the meeting. It was with a group of accountants and there was a whole load of us just as Zoom started, and one turned up in her pajamas and said, am I the only one here in my pajamas?
Oh, we've got somebody in South Africa. I was very, very excited. Well, welcome to you all. It's 10:02. Let's crack on. I'm mindful that you've all got busy days. No, we are thrilled to have so many of you on the call today. And we've got some amazing content here, which will give you practical insight, which you can put into place straight away. Apologies for my slightly strained voice. I've woken up with a cold today, but I shall carry on manfully. I was in Greece last week, so I think my body is complaining about being back in the UK. I will introduce myself properly in a minute. I'll just give you a very brief introduction. I'm Duncan Lloyd, co-owner of Profit First Professionals UK. I'd like my co-presentees to introduce themselves, and then they come back to me and I'll tell you a little bit more about me. So Tim, over to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Tim Seymour, joint owner of Profit First Professionals. I refer to myself as a recovering accountant. I had an accountancy business for 17 years. I got myself in a bit of a pickle with it. I'm not going to lie, I was struggling for time, and I joined Profit First Professionals, and it completely and utterly changed my life. So I'm not going to delve really deeper into that story right now, but I'm sure some of you have heard it before. But yeah, Profit First completely changed my life, and I was able to transition my accountancy business into a world of high value advisory. And it allowed me to attract higher caliber clients, and it allowed me to completely transition away from compliance and into offering consultancy work, which is what I enjoy and where my energy levels are at. So so anyway, that's me. Over to you, Amanda.
Thanks. So my name is Amanda C. Watts, and I am not an accountant. We are certified Profit First professionals, but I fell in love with Profit First probably around 6-7 years ago, when it completely changed my life. Sounds a bit like Tim, don't I? But I do specialize in helping accountants, tax experts, CPAs, CFOs, and I help them package up their advisory services so that they can have fewer clients but take home more pay. And one reason why I'm doing so much work with the Profit First guys at the moment is because it is the best tool out there to enable you to do that. So I'm here today to share a little bit of my expertise around packaging up your services, and also to show you how you can use Profit First to do that. So that is me. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you very much, Amanda. So just to provide clarity, Tim and I run Profit First Professionals in the UK, and one of the things that our members really need is high quality marketing support. I can't think of a better person in the UK than Amanda. So we are thrilled to work very, very closely with Amanda. So I can see a couple of our members on the call, so you will already be aware of Amanda. I'm sure those of you who I don't recognise, are also aware of Amanda. So it's a bit of a dream come true for me to work so closely with Amanda. So I'm going to talk to you for 10 minutes before I hand over to Tim, just to give you a bit of background as to why I'm here talking to you today and why it's relevant. So I'd like to tell you a story, and like all good stories, this one starts once upon a time, and that once upon a time is June 2019, and I'll come back to that in a minute. I started my accounting practice. I also run a small accounting practice. We have about 10 staff, most of them based offshore. And I started that a few years ago, and myself and my business partner, our aim was to help our clients make more money. Well, we thought we were going to be different, and things were going pretty well. And truth be told, I was a little bit too pleased with myself. And as the saying goes, pride comes before a fall. And I was due a fall, I think. And one of my clients recommended a book to me, which was Profit First. And you've guessed it, that was only in June 2019. And I read it in 2 sittings over the weekend. And I'm a sucker for a good book. I read a lot of business books. But actually this one was a bit like reading 7 Habits. There's kind of a few seminal texts kind of change your world. And for me, this was one of them. And I realized that I've been doing it wrong all these years. You know, having thought that we were a cut above, I was humbled, but also rather excited, because I could see how my clients could use this system really effectively, how it would really help them to run their businesses, make more money, and live the life that they dream of. So we as accountants, we all want to help our clients, right? We're known as a profession for wanting to be really helpful, and as such, we end up not charging enough and giving stuff away and all the things that Amanda tells us not to do. But as accountants, we talk in a certain way, right? We talk about balance sheets and deferred income, and to clients, that's witchcraft. They don't really understand it. And that really came home to me when I was talking to one of my clients who was a chief executive of an AIM-listed company, so a big company and a very successful individual. And she said to me in a quiet moment, "Can you just explain to me what a balance sheet is?" And you know, she's a highly successful, commercial, well-paid person. And if she doesn't understand it, I guarantee that your clients don't either. Right. And so I was guilty of kind of using that kind of accounting language with our clients, which wasn't massively technical, but it is still accounting language. Clients understand cash, right? We all understand cash. Everyone in this room today is an entrepreneur, right? And we understand cash and the need to make payroll and pay the VAT and so on. And whereas as accountants, we're taught that if you run a business on the bank account, it's like trying to drive a car looking at the fuel tank. However, if you run a business on the Profit First way, using the bank account information, the bank account information becomes useful and insightful and helps to hardwire profitable habits, and it helps entrepreneurs to understand their businesses, and it helps us as accountants help our clients, which is what all of us in this room today want to do. I have no doubt. So would you mind putting a Y in the chat if you've checked your bank account in the past 30 days?
Oh, there's lots of Ys coming in.
Good number. Well, would you put 2 Ys in the chat if you've checked it in the past 7 days? Right, double Ys coming through. 3 Ys if you checked in the past 24 hours. And there, oh my goodness, quite a few of those. Is anyone checking right now, by the way? Is anyone listening to me, or you're just looking at your banking apps? I mean, it's entirely natural behavior to look at your bank account. And with Profit First, we embrace that. Right, we're going to use that behavior that all your clients do, regardless of what you tell them. They're going to look at their banking app like we all do, and we're going to use that to help them run their business. And so the fundamental principle for the uninitiated of Profit First is to rework the formula of UK GAAP, which is sales less expenses equals profit, because in that formula, profit is what's left. And put a Y in the chat if you want to live on leftovers. No one's going to do that. Good. We're going to rearrange that. Sharon, you don't mean that. We're going to change that formula to sales less profit equals expenses. And in doing so, you have a smaller amount of money in an operating expenses account in which to run the company. So look, if you're not familiar, for those who are not familiar with the system, it comes from a book, Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. Book came out in 2014. It was an international bestseller. It's been translated into 19 languages. And fundamentally, the idea behind it is that you move money at pre-agreed percentages at pre-agreed points in the month into various bank accounts. Those accounts being profit, tax, owner's pay, and operating expenses. So, Tim, do you mind just showing that graphic that we discussed earlier?
I am on it. Is that?
Yeah, that's coming through. That's coming through.
There we go.
So the Profit First system is nothing more than moving cash at regular intervals at pre-agreed percentages. And it's not a complicated system, but it isn't easy. And we often find that clients have read the book and they try and implement it, and that doesn't work, and then they come to us for a bit of support. So this is where you as accountants come in, right? You take this simple concept and you become an accountability partner for your clients, and you help them to run their business and achieve things that they want to achieve, whether it's that holiday home or taking Fridays off, all the important stuff. When we say profit first, we don't mean only profit matters. We just mean profit is the route by which you unlock all the things that are important to you, your why, so to speak. Thanks, Tim. So look, that was my story. It was a real epiphany for me, having been, you've guessed it, a bit of a pompous accountant. And I love meeting the cynics. I love meeting the doubters, and they'll always be there. And I won't persuade everybody, but if you get me on a stage, I'm happy to talk about Profit First, because I've seen what it's done for my business, for my clients. For me personally, my daughters who are at university, they run the system in their personal lives. And I think by doing that, I've given them a gift that's going to help them avoid financial distress for the rest of their lives. Something really, really precious. So that was my story, and I wanted to kind of put it out there, because this is not a off-the-shelf system that you can plug in and go off into the sunset. This is forgive me if it sounds a bit Disney. It's a way of life. It's a way of thinking that I want as many people as possible to be aware of. So look, I'm gonna shut up now and hand over to the fabulous Tim Seymour.
Thanks, Duncan. Thanks for sharing all of that. It's really interesting to hear, and I hope everybody got a bit of benefit from hearing your story and your explanation of Profit First as well. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about dispelling myths around doing it yourself. I'm also going to talk about what our members see as a value of being a Profit First professional. And we'll come to that shortly. Now, what we come up against constantly or all the time is people believing that Profit First is simply just moving money into pots, and that's it. And that's the be all and end all of it. And there's so much more than that. So yes, the basic structure is, of course, you're moving money into pots, but there's reasons behind why you're doing that. There's a proactiveness at looking ahead with your clients. How far ahead that is it 1 year, 2 year, 3 years? The journey that you can take them on, how they're going to actually have that money for that profit. And because you must all have these clients that you see at the end of the tax year, you've done their accounts for them, you've told them they've made a profit, and it's great news. But to them, their question is, I've got a profit, where's the cash? And you can't answer that because the cash isn't there anymore. They've spent the cash probably. They've probably got an overdrawn director's loan account, who knows, And this happens time after time. And also then the question is, okay, I've made a profit, so does that mean I've got a tax bill? Because I've not got any money saved up. So those areas, when I was an accountant, going back years ago, when I was in my early days as an accountant, I had these questions constantly. And I always find it very difficult to answer. So as soon as I started using the strategies from Profit First and being able to show them where the money is for those different areas, for the tax, for the profit, to help them earn more money from their business, and to focus on looking ahead, always looking ahead in a proactive manner, as opposed to being reactive, made such a difference to my clients' lives, to my life, utilizing Profit First in my business. But the misconception of it just being moving money into pots is a common theme. Reading the book gives you a broad, basic sense of what Profit First is about. But the target allocation percentages in the book aren't necessarily relevant to businesses in the UK. And it certainly might not be relevant to individual businesses that are at different stages. So when we first start working with a client, we run what we call a profit assessment. And that gives us an idea of how they've been using the cash in their business up to this point in time. And that's the starting point. That's where we build out the blueprint of a plan of how to work with that client. And we move forward with them, and we start to then help them put some money aside into the different pots, but it's the percentages that we use. So if you just try and move straight towards those percentages that the book says, the chances are that business from where they're starting from is going to fail straight away. And as Duncan said, many times people come to us, to our members, and they say they've tried to implement Profit First, but it's just not working. Because it's very hard for them to do this on their own without some hand-holding, without some coaching, without some guidance. And you know, even our members, when they first go through the certification process, they struggle to produce a profit assessment without help from us. So we're there to guide them through this process. And the problem being that accountants think like accountants. So they try and balance everything back to the penny. They try and make everything cross-check. They, you know, debits, credits, etc. Everything goes around in their heads instead of actually just looking at the cash position of the business, which is all we're interested in when we're talking Profit First. We're talking cash, we're talking money, and we're talking how can we make that better for our clients and for our members. And so we proactively work with our members. The reason our members have to implement and maintain Profit First in their own business is so that they live and breathe Profit First. It becomes a way of life, as Duncan said, but also because when they're going through that process, they find points of resistance, they find obstacles in their way. We help them work through those obstacles. And then at the next stage, when they start to work with their clients on the same strategies, because they've overcome these obstacles themselves, it's easy for them to then help their clients overcome the same obstacles because they've gone through it themselves. The same as I went through it a few years ago, the same as Duncan went through it a few years ago. It's what we do. And when you've gone through it yourself, you've got the experience and the knowledge to help others. So yeah, so just to be clear, reading the book is not a textbook. It's a great introduction to what Profit First is. It's a fantastic book. The intention of the book was to help entrepreneurs that already know how to bring money into their business. What we do at Profit First Professionals, when our members talk to our clients, we don't just move money into pots. We have regular strategy sessions with our clients where we talk to them about how to be more profitable. We talk about their goals. We talk about what they want to achieve, and we help them move their businesses forward. And we basically become a partner to their business, which makes us so valuable that they can't do without us. And we're proud of that because they can't do without us, because without us, we're helping them become a much more profitable and valuable business so that they can achieve whatever goals it is that they want to achieve. Now, the other part of this section that I'm talking about was that we asked our members, what's the value of being a Profit First professional? Now, Amanda came up with this question to me and Duncan, actually, which is where this idea came from. And obviously we answered it. But for us to answer it, fantastic. We're the joint owners of Profit First Professionals. You're going to say, oh, yeah, of course you're going to say that. So we asked our members, and forgive me if it looks like I'm reading, because I'm just referring to notes now, because we had one of our monthly group calls on Monday, and we have 2 monthly calls with our community each month. And I asked around the room some of our members, and so this is what some of our members said. So Roy Lioness of Lioness Accountancy Practice says the value of being a profit first professional is branding, positioning, and he also mentioned how awareness of profit first is increasing all the time. Stephen Edwards of Cheltenham Tax Accountants, branding, positioning, and community. And he even mentioned that the community and the sessions that we have, he feels is more like a mastermind group to him, because everybody in the community is contributing and helping each other along. And they're even having their own sessions amongst themselves. They're having individual calls and chats with each other where they're collaborating and where they're helping each other along. Deb's here today, Deb Halliday of the Accounts Leaders. I think I saw Deb here. She said that the value of being a profit first professional is that you've got a unique selling point. You're part of a supportive community and you learn the skills and expertise that you can't learn from the book. So that kind of backs up exactly what I was saying before. Annette Ferguson of Annette & Co. Annette's one of the longest standing profit first professionals in the UK. Branding, positioning, and ease of producing content marketing. So it provides Annette with the topics and helps open up discussions. Rosie Linstead of the Profit Group, one word, community, which is music to our ears, because that's something we were really keen to encourage when we took over the license at the 1st of March last year, isn't it, Duncan? So we're really proud of that one. Rebecca Brown of Simplify Performance, community, and having the chance to collaborate with fellow profit first professionals, which is especially helpful when you work alone. And for Rebecca, she wants to continue working alone. She's a business coach and she enjoys her work. She's not trying to build a massive team. She wants to work alone. So having that community to fall back on and to collaborate with is really important for her. Kerry Postel of Abacus Business Solutions. Profit First provides her with a huge tool in her tool belt, which helps when having conversations with her clients and adding value to her clients. And Alice Mason of the Bookkeeper, one word, community. So from, am I okay for time, Duncan, by the way? Because I know I do tend to talk quite a lot.
That's fine, Tim, you're good.
So in summary, the value of being a profit first professional, from the words of our members, is branding, which for me is utilizing the profit first band, having awareness of profit first. And did you know, when we were at the Digital Accountancy Show this year, we had our own stand. And some of you, I think, may have come up and spoken to us yourself. So great to see you again, those that are here. But it was a constant flow of accountancy and bookkeeper business owners coming up to us and saying, we want to find out more about Profit First because our clients are asking us, do we offer Profit First services? Can we help them with Profit First? So your clients are reading Profit First and they're actively looking for Profit First professionals to help them. So it's a really key point. So for me, branding, utilizing the Profit First brand with awareness of Profit First, really, really increasing right now is an important factor. Positioning. So that was the other comment that was very common. So branding and positioning, standing out as an expert, someone who's a partner to their clients from a proactive position as opposed to reactive, and how you're able to produce content for your marketing. So you're using the brand and you're putting yourself, you've got the positioning because you're an expert and because you're a profit first professional. You're going to stand out from the crowd massively. And community. For me, that's the best word out of all three for me, because that was really was our desire when we set this up. So never underestimate the power of collaboration, sharing knowledge, supporting your peers, and the power of a community that just by its own natural journey has actually become a mastermind group by itself. So those are the three things. For me, the value of being a profit first professional is branding, position in the community, which provides you with time, money, and enjoyment. And that's kind of where we're at with it. So I hope that makes sense. So if anyone's got any questions, feel free to throw them out into the chat.
Tim, that was great. And I would echo what you were saying about Profit First. It's not a how-to guide. You don't just pick up the book, follow the pages, and implement the steps. It's way more than that, because it's a know what guide. And once you know what you need to do, you create the how-to steps in your own way. And as a result, all of our member firms deliver Profit First in a slightly different way, which is great because it's their IP, right? They own it. their clients know that they live and breathe this methodology, which, okay, it's got the profit first principles, but it's got their own fingerprints all over it. So it does require a what we often say to people who are thinking of joining us: this is not a silver bullet. Okay, this is a great tool to add to your business, provided you apply your own personal stamp to it, and we will help you achieve that. And it means what you're offering is something that no one else can do. Not even another profit first professional, or PFP as we refer to them. And for example, my firm specializes in fitness companies and e-commerce businesses. And so if I get a lead that happens to be a fitness business who's read profit first, that is my client to lose. Do you know what I mean? And they're going to pay my fee. And our fees are not cheap. And we start at about £500 a month, and you won't get much for that. Typically, it's £1,000 to £2,000 a month. I know there are firms that are charged much more, but we think we're doing pretty well on that. And you increasing your fees as members is fundamental to your success as a member. It's our job to help you to do that, and we would help you do that as part of the process. Tim, that was amazing. Thank you so much. Has anybody? Oh, I think we've got a message. Has anybody got any more? Has anybody got any questions for Tim before we move on?
It's because I explained everything so well, Duncan. That's all.
It's such a good job, Tim. You did. That's fabulous. Okay, thank you so much. Well, I will now hand over to Amanda. Amanda, over to you.
Thank you. Okay, so what I would like to talk about, hold on a second, guys. There we go. Right, so what I would like to talk about is a little bit more around advisory. But before I dive into that, I just want to reconfirm the importance of actually doing advisory services. So I have been running my business for 14 years. Can't believe how long that's been. But when I started my business, I looked for an accountant who could do my year end, who could make sure that I was compliant. And that was okay for where I was in business then. But as my business grew, I started to have more opportunities, not just in my business life, but in my personal life. And if you are just offering compliance services, then you are missing a huge trick, because the reason why people like me set up our own business is because we want to have a particular kind of lifestyle. That lifestyle could be more time, it could be more income, it could be that we put the kids through university, it could be that we want to pay for weddings, it could be a number of different things. But most accounting firm owners offer the compliance side of work and do not look at the person they're helping, they just look at the business that they're helping. And just to reconfirm what Duncan and Tim were saying about why reading the book is not enough for you to be able to implement Profit First, it's because you have to align percentages, you have to align your Profit First methodology with the person, not the business, actually. And for me, when we started doing Profit First ourselves, so we didn't have our accountant do Profit First. Matthew, well, actually, I picked up the book, got halfway through, and as the business owner went, I don't understand any of this, passed it over to my business partner, who's a little bit more numbers orientated than I am. And he helped implement it. And then when we started to speak with Tim and Duncan, we decided to get certified, which is super cool. Now, the thing is for us, we couldn't do this on our own. We actually needed to speak to our accountant and say, hey, we want to pay off our mortgage in 5 years. We want this to happen. We want that to happen. And our accountant isn't Profit First certified. So I've got an accountant that can't do what I want him to do. Fortunately, Matthew is now very Profit First certified, so we can do that. But the thing is the world has changed, and just offering compliance isn't enough. And it's not enough for you as the accounting firm owner, and it's not enough for your clients. Now, I just want to go back to you as the accounting firm owner. I've worked with closely over 700 accountants through my programs, but thousands through webinars and conversations and live events. And what I have seen is a massive, massive shift. So I used to specialize in helping accountants get more leads, get more clients, get clients, get clients, get clients, get clients. But there's a problem with that, because actually your business model is broken. And this is why Profit First is so good, because at the moment, if you're just offering compliance services, you are having to do a number of different things. And actually what I'm going to do is share my screen, if that is okay. All right. So I just want to share with you, and if any of you saw my live this morning, you'll be like, I've seen this, Amanda, but I want to just go through it again. All right. So a traditional accountancy firm, or someone who's even starting a traditional accountancy firm and thinks that this is what their future holds, will be looking for a business that is going to give them lots and lots of revenue. And high revenue is, how do I get more clients? How do I get more clients? I must get every single client. Therefore, I can't say no to people. So what happens is your revenue goes up, but you're not charging enough for your services because you start selling on price. What I talk about is a lot about offering advisory, of which Profit First is key, okay? And when you have leveraged advisory, we start looking at high take-home pay. Now, this goes back to your clients as well, because they aren't coming to you going, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Accountant, can you help me get more revenue? They're going to be saying, can you help me run a better business? And a better business normally means I need to take home more pay because my electricity's gone up. I want the summer holiday and I want to put the kids through school. It's as simple as that. So when we look at a traditional accountancy firm, I refer to it as a monster business because it's thousands of clients not paying you very much money. Now, the problem with a traditional accountancy firm is that you also need tons of staff. So for every 10 clients you take on, you might need to hire another staff member. Now, those 10 clients might only earn you 50 grand in an entire year, or maybe you need 20 or 30 or 40 clients to add another 50 grand, 50,000 pounds or dollars onto your revenue. So you need another member of staff, which means that they're going to cost you 40,000 and then you've only got 10 grand profit, not even thinking about all the costs of running your business. So you have lots and lots of staff, lots and lots of clients, but the problem is that you've got too many team and not enough profits. When you offer advisory, when you do things like implement the Profit First system or implement advisory in general, you can actually do that in a very small, intimate team way. And I'm going to share some ideas around that with you today on how you can actually deliver advisory services. Okay, so we're going to go from the monster business, which is high revenue, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 10 million, up to you, tons of staff, hundreds of clients. Let's get rid of that and actually go for the high value clients. Now, high value clients come when you're super clear on who a good client is and you provide a high value service, AKA Profit First. All right. So the other thing as well with the traditional accountancy firm is loads of hours in client delivery. I'd love for you to let me know in the chat box, how many hours a week do you work? Okay, let me know. How many hours a week do you work? Just let me, 42. Okay, Carla, 40. Alice is 20. Great, that's good. Okay, 50. 50 is horrible. 30, 25. Okay, and when you're thinking about the hours that you work, and also I bet that this completely changes around tax season, unless you're a Profit First and that's what you lead with. But when you think about the number of hours that you are in client delivery, we actually want to take that down and we want to change that. And we want to be in about 10 to 12 hours a week in delivery, because if you're running a business, if you're the CEO, of a business, which you tend to be. I know that maybe you're a one-man band, which is absolutely fine. Maybe you're a four-man band, or maybe you're a 50-man band. But at the end of the day, you don't want to be stuck in delivery. You want to be high level, looking down on how to make your clients' lives better and your business better. That should be what you're focusing on. And what advisory enables you to do is offer a much better service for less hours. And I'm going to show you how to actually really reduce those hours down today. And then from the 10 to 12 hours delivery, so, you know, those of you who are more than 40, this is a no-brainer. Like this has to be something you implement. And for those of you who are around the 28 or the 25, imagine if you could halve that again. Like, what would your life be like if we could get rid of that? Okay. The other thing as well is we want to go from low margin to high profit margin, either to reinvest in the business or to take out of the business and build your own wealth. So we want to go from small take-home pay to personal wealth, fun and freedom. And I was talking to Duncan and Tim yesterday, We talk a lot, actually, considering it's not my business. We spend a lot of time gossiping, but I was talking to them, explaining about my holiday. And I feel really, really lucky, because when I started my business 14 years ago, I was a single mum on housing benefit. I was struggling, completely struggling. I remember, this is going to sound really snobby, and I don't mean it to sound snobby, but when I went to Lidl's for the first time, it was a brand new experience for me. And I don't know if you guys that aren't in the UK know Lidl's. It's a German company, but here in the UK, it only came over about 14 years ago. And it was a much cheaper place to go shopping. And I was used to doing my food shop in Tesco's, and I never went to Waitrose, but I was used to doing my food shop in normal places. And Lidl's was a new place which was really cheap. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I have no money and I have to go to Lidl's to buy my food. Now, my sensible head is like, why wouldn't you go to Lidl's to buy your food? But at the time, because of what I was going through emotionally, and I'd found myself on a housing benefit, and it was really, really difficult for me. I come from a middle-class family. My dad, tax technician, he's one of you. And I found it really, really hard. And what I've managed to do is switch my life completely, especially in the past 5 years since we've been implementing Profit First, so that I can build my personal wealth, enjoy my life more, and have fun and make my own decisions. I still go to Lidl's and buy food, because why would you go anywhere else? It's ridiculous. But actually, when you have to have a life which is penny pinching, then you feel rubbish. When you choose to have a life where you can make sensible decisions, then life is fun, freedom, and building personal wealth. Does that make sense? Like, it gives you choices. Yeah, Duncan says little rocks. It totally does. It didn't when I was on housing benefit and I felt really crap. I felt like, oh my God, that's the only place I can afford to shop. Okay. All right. So what I have done is use the Profit First process and created a really good business for me. But one of the reasons why we have generated so much cash in our business is because we do something in our business called leveraged advisory. So whilst I don't deliver a financial advisory service, I deliver a business advisory service. So I help people with marketing and their offer, getting clear on their ideal client. It's exactly the same model that you can put into an accounting firm, which is something that I have now done with many, many of my clients. All right. So any questions around that? Deb says, my 40 hours are not delivery. They're working on building the business. Absolutely. And Deb, I think you're a Profit First consultant, are you not? So that could explain a lot of that. That is amazing. Well done. Yeah, exactly. So if you've got any questions, please just type them into the chat box. What I want to talk about now is going into how you can take advisory services and find a way to leverage your time and your effort so that you get the most bang for your buck. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to bring up another document that I want to share with you. Let me go to Google Sheets. Let me just do this. 500. Okay. I just want to share this with you. I think this will be useful. All right. So if you're thinking about implementing Profit First or advisory of any kind in the business, I want you to think about how much you charge at the moment per client. So those of you who aren't offering advisory, what is your average fee? Are you charging 2 to 3 grand a year for compliance services? Where are you at? And also what I want you to think about is how can you provide more value to your clients, i.e. Profit First, okay? So along here, we've got number of clients, and we're looking at 3, 6, 9. Adding 3 clients a month to your business is totally doable if they're the right clients. You don't want hundreds of clients, you want 100 clients, okay? If you decided to offer an advisory service where you're charging £6,000 a year and you're charging your ideal client £500 a month for that service, and offering an advisory service, if you were starting from scratch with your advisory offer, you could add in income, in revenue, sorry, top line revenue, 117,000 in 1 year, just adding 3 clients a month using Profit First, but your recurring rev would be 18,000. If you did this for 3 years and you had 108 clients, you would be able to take home at the end of year 3, 549,000, so over £500,000. But the important thing is your recurring revenue would be over 50K a month. Now, if you had 100 clients at 50K a month, 50K a month, that would give you a really nice life if you could service those people in the right way. And that's why I'm talking to you about leveraged advisory, because working with 100 clients in advisory one-on-one is hard work. Okay, that's 100 hours a month if you were to have just one hour meeting with them, and that is hard work. And then that's, you know, that's where you're back in delivery of 25 hours a week. Okay, right, let's have a look at another option. Okay, if we look at the higher revenue, if you were to say, I just want 12 clients, that's it, and I want to charge those 12 clients £2,000, okay, you could have recurring revenue of 24 grand a month, working with 12 clients, and it could be you and a VA. Super, super simple. If you wanted to go here and say, right, I want £1 million business, all right, this is where, actually, if I go to back here, no, go to here, right? If you wanted to, 180 clients paying you £500 a month is your £1 million business, okay? And you could easily do that over 5 years, but you've got to have the right offer. You've got to have the right offer to deliver that. So what I'm going to do is talk about the 5 key ideas for delivering advisory and doing it in the right way. Before I jump into those, how much would be an ideal recurring rev a month per client for you? How much would you like to say, right, okay, I'd like to have 10 clients at £500 a month, or 20 clients at £2,000 a month? What would be ideal for you? Please, can you put that in the chat box for me? Let me know. What would be a good number? Recurring, £500 a month minimum. Yep. 10 at 1,000. Amazing. 2K a month. Yeah, perfect. Brilliant. So the problem, this is it, right? The problem with a business owner is they don't value accountants. And I am totally, I hate saying this, because you work so hard. You have studied for years. You have to do your CPD every year. You know, you work like fury, and you do not get recognized for your expertise. The problem with a business owner is they only care about themselves. And if they look at zero and they see that the word accountant has a cost of £500 a month for that, and all they're getting is their year end, their personal tax, maybe making sure their VAT is done, and bank reconciliation, they see you as a cost because it doesn't feel like an investment in their business. So what we want to do is articulate what we do in a way where they go, actually, I want to pay you 500 or £2,000 a month because I know that you transform my business rather than cost me something. So how many of you feel like when the recession hits that you panic that your clients are going to go, oh my gosh, I can't afford you anymore. Can you do me a deal? Like how many? Like we went into COVID, how many of your clients reached out and went, I'm really worried about money. You know, can you do me a discount, or I'm leaving? You don't necessarily want to put that in the chat box because that might make you. Lisa said none. Amazing. Okay. So therefore they saw the value, or you're not charging enough. Okay. There's two things. They either saw the value or you're not charging enough. Okay, but what we want to do is when a business looks at the profit and loss, they want to throw more money at you because you are what I call their co-pilot. You're the person that sits next to them, helping them in their business, and you're the one that they turn to. So if they need a mortgage, they can reach out to you. If they don't understand why they've made more money this month on top line, but they can't take it home, they reach out to you. If they want to plan for their future, they reach out to you. They don't say, can you recommend a financial advisor? Okay. Lisa says there's one leaving this week now because of the cost. Right. So Lisa, what we need to look at is they see you as a cost, not an investment. And I've just actually stopped using my coach. And the reason why is because I couldn't see the ROI. And I sat down and I went, I pay him £2,000 a month. And if I save that £2,000 a month and take it out of the business, in 5 years, I will have paid off £220,000 off my mortgage. Is he worth £220,000 to me? Not so much. Now, here's the thing, I could make that decision because I understand profit first, and I use the profit first formulas and the different pots to go, actually, my end mission is pay off mortgage. Therefore, the £2,000 a month I feel is not a lot every month actually has a big effect on my take home and has a big effect on how quickly I pay off my mortgage. Okay, so what we need to do is get super clear on what your clients want and make sure that you're not seen as a cost, but as an absolute co-pilot for them. Okay, so we have to look out for number one when we offer advisory. And it's very easy for us to go, do you know what? I'm going to help more people and give them more value. So I'm just going to give them time. How many of you with your advisory services spend time with every single client? Let me know in the chat box. How many of you spend time? Yeah, okay. So do you know what you can't get more of? Time. It's as simple as that. Doesn't matter how much money you have, you can buy more people, but you can't buy more time for you. Okay, so if you're running a practice and all of your time is spent working for your clients, you aren't looking out for number one, you're looking out for your clients, which is very honorable, but you have to look after yourself. And if you think about when you're on a plane and they give you, you know, it's summer holidays, many of you will have been on a plane, you will have sat there and watched them point at the exits and everything. And then they'd say, you know, and when the gas mask comes down, fit it on yourself before you help your children. You have to help yourself first, because you can't look after your children or those who depend on you if you don't look after you, which means that when it comes to offering leveraged advisory and when it comes to offering advisory, you have to create a business around you. What is it that you need? Do you need to be at home for the children? Do you need to take more money out of your business? How do you want to run it? Are you terrible with staff? You know, are you a really bad leader? If so, you've got to create a business that either has someone underneath you that looks after your entire team, or accept the fact that actually really you shouldn't have staff. It's as simple as that. So you have to look out for number one. That's the first thing that you have to think about. And what Profit First enables you to do is actually create a business around what you want, because Profit First will help you work out your own numbers. And you need someone to help you with that. And as you go through the certification, you'll be able to go, okay, this is the life that I want. This is what I want. So you're going to get untold clarity as you go through the certification and look out for number one. That's the first thing. All right. The second thing that we need to do is only work with perfect prospects. So I just want to have a look. So Lisa says he's actually persuaded by a new accountant who's given him a cheap, quickly way to do accounts just from bank statements, ignoring the bills. Right, not a perfect prospect. And the reason why they're not a perfect prospect is because they're in fear. If you've got clients that are going, I have to contract, it's a contracting market, therefore I have to contract my business, they're not ideal clients. An ideal client right now is someone whose mindset and body and their feelings are, it's okay. We've been through recessions before. We've been through a contracting market before. So you have to get clear on who is a perfect prospect for you. And then what you have to do is go, what is the process that I can help my perfect prospect? So who are they? What is it that they want to achieve? And when we talk about process, we talk about a step-by-step methodology, whether you use Profit First in its own right or Profit First as a bigger advisory offer. You can do either, by the way. But you have to decide the initial process that you're going to take your ideal client from A to B in a way that's in alignment with you. And then what we have to do is go, right, how are we going to deliver that process in a way that's in alignment with you? Are you getting the drift? It's about you. This isn't about your client. And that's why Profit First is so powerful, because you help your client, but in the process, you actually give yourself the life that you're looking for. And then what we have to do is go, right, we've got our ideal client here. We've got the ideal offer. We're going to deliver it in this way. And this is the perfect match. This is what we do. Okay. Is this making sense? Just give me a yes in the chat box if this is useful. Yeah, awesome, fab. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Lisa. All right, okay. So first of all, let's get clear on your ideal client. And your ideal client are what we call premium clients. So when you implement Profit First and when you implement some kind of leveraged advisory, if you already have a practice, there are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ideal clients that you want to do this first. And when you go through the process of Profit First, you actually will have to do it with 2 or 3. I can't remember how many it is, 2 or 3 ideal clients. Tim?
Three beta clients, yeah.
Right, okay. So you need to have those beta clients and you need to get clear on who they are so that when you get certified, you're like, these are our premium clients. They're going to actually benefit from something phenomenal, okay? Then we have to look at what do these premium clients have in common and what is it that they really, really want, okay? I'm going to come to the last column in a second, but this is about you and your clients. So who is a good client for you? Why are they a good client? Really get clear on what is it that you love about them. Is it their personality, their mindset, or is it their financial abundance that they have in their business, or how long they've been in their business? You have to get clear on that. Then you have to look and say, do they have anything in common? And then we look at what is it that they want. So despite being in a contracting market and the looming recession, I don't think we've actually hit it yet, but the looming recession, what are their plans? Like for me, I want to continue growing. I don't really think about it. I just show up every day and just work on my business. You want to work with people that are positive. Okay, so what we want to do is when we're clear on that, we then want to say, let's throw out the traditional model of working with clients and how do our clients really want to hear from us? Now, here's a question for you. Do you want to spend time, say you hire a business coach, okay? Do you want to spend time with your business coach, or do you want results from working with your business coach? When you work with someone, do you want them to give you more and more time for you to feel the value, or is it the results that you want to feel the value? Let me know in the chat box. Do you want time? Do you want to pay for people's time, or do you want to pay for their results? Results, great, okay. So why do so many of you think that the way forward is charging by time? Because that's what most accountants do, is they charge by time, when actually all we want is results. So I've got a bit of a mindset shift for you. Tim, how are we doing for time? Have I got like, yeah, we're right.
You're good for time, okay. Plenty of it.
Okay, so I want to share with you some ways that you can offer the Profit First methodology and incorporate Profit First into a bigger advisory offering if you want to, okay? But I want you to look at this from your point of view. It will blow some of your minds. If you are a traditional accountancy firm, you'll go, I can't do that. And I want to say to you, you can, because I've done it with traditional firms and we've transformed what they've been doing. But I want to share with you some ideas so that you can start to implement advisory, or at least leverage your time so that you're selling on transformation, not on the time delivered. Okay. So one thing Duncan and Tim spoke about was masterminding. And one of the key things that the Profit First, I was going to say corporation, what's it called? Community, not corporation. Profit First community has become is a mastermind. Now, Tim, I'm going to ask you this question because we don't see as much of Duncan as we do of Tim. How much time do you spend in the community every single week, let's say?
Well, we have 2 group sessions. Yep. So they're an hour long. So that's 2 hours. And then we have one-to-ones outside of that.
Okay, forget about the one-to-ones at the moment. Yeah. How much time do you spend in the mastermind community? 2 hours?
In the mastermind community, 2 hours.
Great. And how many people do we have in the group? Is it
up to 30? There's 30 members, so it's not everybody comes to every call, obviously, but yeah, between 15 and 30 most calls.
Great. And the people who commented on why you should join Profit First, their biggest thing was community, wasn't it? It was that, right?
Absolutely.
So whilst you can learn, and forgive me, Duncan and Tim, if it feels like I'm diminishing the power of the Profit First methodology, what I want you to understand is whilst you can learn how to do Profit First, people feel that they get the most benefit from the community. Whilst you feel as the accountant or CFO or tax technician that the thing that your clients wants is the tax return done and their VAT, what they're really looking for is community. It's as simple as that. And the thing that advisory enables you to do when you do it in the right way is offer community. So you pay for, I need help with this, but the reason why you stay and the reason why you feel great is community. So what we want to do as business owners, as advisors, as business advisors, is create a community that people want to be part of. And this is about masterminding. So the thing that I love about masterminds, which is what Tim and Duncan have got as part of their Profit First advisory offering, okay, is that the time investment is low on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. The income is high. It's easy to deliver because you're actually not having to worry about working one-on-one with people and answering hundreds and hundreds of questions and helping them. And the scalability is okay. You don't really want more than 30 or 50 people on the line in one go if you're doing it virtual. Okay, so scalability is medium. And this is a phenomenal thing that if you were to do Profit First or offer advisory, and this is something that I teach in my programs as well, is how to run a mastermind. And this gives you much, much higher income. Now, when I talk about any of these things, I'm talking about 80% of your advisory offering being leveraged. As Tim said there, he still does one-on-one, but I bet his one-on-one is way less because we've got the mastermind, because he's leveraged his time. Then we think about group coaching, and group coaching is where maybe you hold a weekly call with all of your clients and you answer questions. So I run online programs, and I have 3 calls a week. I have 2 for my momentum program and 1 for my leverage program. And we have group coaching, and it takes me 3 hours a week to deliver that. And the time wise is really, really good because I can spend time answering questions. I can teach them stuff. It doesn't take up a lot of my time. Income is really good because you're providing a transformation. Ease, it gets easier and easier and easier. So I've put it as a medium ease, but scalability is really high because it's one to many. And if you're going to offer Profit First, and I've seen this done with a few Profit First professionals, is they teach Profit First through group coaching. They might have once a month a one-on-one call with their clients, but actually what they then have is the opportunity to answer any questions in a group setting. And you'll be surprised how open business owners will be and how they're happy to share their numbers. You might not as the accountant, but most business owners don't give a monkeys. Okay, they're pretty like, and the better they're doing, the more they want to tell everybody in that group. Okay, so that's the mindset shift. Then we can look at membership. So Annette Ferguson runs a Profit First membership, or she used to. I can't remember exactly, but takes very little time, hour a month, if that. Income is medium because when you run memberships, they tend to be lower income, 50 or £100 a month on average for low ticket memberships. Is pretty easy to run, but you end up getting quite a few clients, but scalability is super high. Okay, so memberships is another thing that you can do with your Profit First. Then you could have office hours, which is a weekly call. People can come along and ask you questions around what should they be putting in their pots. You know, you don't actually have to really work really closely with them. They could be coming to you and saying, hey, I'm really stuck. How do I get leads? And maybe you're really good as a business owner getting leads. So you can give advice around that, and you can give them extra advisory support. Time, very low. Income can be good if you just run monthly group office hours. This isn't like call in one at a time, it's group. Really easy to do, and scalability is pretty okay with that. And then FAQ library, you've all used Loom. Let me know. How many of you have used Loom? Put a yes in the chat box if you've used Loom. Yeah, okay, great. So every time you get a question, instead of answering it, okay, which I bet you all do, if it is something that you have a question that's been asked more than once, record a Loom and create an FAQ library, put it into Google Drive and direct people to it. Do not ever repeat an answer more than once to someone. Record every answer via Loom. And that's how we have grown our group coaching and mastermind program. It started off with, hey, give me a question, I'll give you an answer. And now we've really created this great program that is like every question you have, we have the answer to. Okay, so Loom is something that you can really, really use. Now, I'm just going to end on this. One-on-one advisory is not great. It's something that you're going to do 20% of the time, not 100% of the time. The income from one-on-one advisory is actually trying to sell to someone and say, I want to give you an hour a week of my time. That sounds like effort for a serious business owner. I don't have an hour a week to sit with you. Okay, so what we want to do is combine one-on-one advisory with either a mastermind, group coaching, memberships, office hours, or FAQ. And what that will mean is if we can do mastermind or group coaching, we have high income, it becomes easier to deliver it, and scalability becomes much, much higher. Okay, so that's kind of where I want you to think about your leveraged advisory options. And these I'm just kind of fill your brain with, you know, once you've got Profit First certified, once you have decided that you want to offer advisory and you want to build out that advisory offer, either have PF as part of it or as whole of it, these are the different options that you can go through. Okay, so there's 4 things actually that I want you to look at and think about, and I'm going to finish on this before I go back to the guys. I nearly called you boys, I'll call you guys. Okay, with your clients, when you think about advisory, how often are you going to meet with your clients? Okay, do you want to do it in a way where you're meeting with them weekly, monthly, or quarterly when you implement Profit First? And how are you going to deliver the Profit First methodology? How are you going to deliver any advisory services? What is it that you're going to do to make sure that they get the best results that they're looking for? By the way, they don't want to spend time with you. They don't want to see you every single week. They want results. They don't want your time. Then how are you going to create a community so that they stay with you forever? People come to you for a problem, they stay with you for community. So how are they going to be something more than you? And then this is your thing, how are you going to leverage your support time? And they're the things I want you to think about. And when you're clear on what kind of life you want, because this is about you actually, not about your client, what kind of life you want, then you can weave Profit First in and actually grow something phenomenal. Yeah, there we go. That's my thinking. Leveraged advisory changed my life. I used to do a lot of one-on-one and done for you work. I used to it was the right thing at the right time. I don't want to say I did the wrong thing, but 2019 to 2021, I was like, get more clients, get more clients, get more clients, get more clients to my clients. Now I'm like, no, don't get more clients, have less clients, change your business model. And that's only through my experience and watching the world change. But what is it that you really want? What kind of life do you truly, truly want? And do you really want 1,000 clients paying you £1,000 or $1,000 a year with hundreds of staff and no profits? Or would you like 20, 30, 40 clients working 10 hours a week max and providing a great community and getting a great reputation and building your personal wealth? They're the choices you have to make. And the decisions that you make today will affect you in a year. They won't affect you tomorrow, but they'll affect you in a year. And that's why you have to make a decision today, because it takes time to get momentum. And if you put it off, we're further into recession and other people are growing their Profit First businesses or their advisory businesses, and you're on the back foot. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Duncan, Tim, do you have any questions for me? Does anyone have any questions for me?
I had an observation from earlier on when we were talking about looking out for number one.
Yeah.
That I totally agree, because obviously Profit First is taking your profit first and making sure you're paying yourself accordingly for the time and effort you're putting into the business. I've had a few people object to that, you see, in the past. So I just wanted to clarify on that in line with you, is that actually looking out for yourself helps you build a longer term sustainable business, which therefore actually helps you look after your team in the for a longer term. By not looking after yourself, you're not looking after your team. So just wanted to clarify that, because some people do object to that, and that's the point they make. Yeah, but I want to look after my team. You will do by looking after yourself.
There's a saying is money doesn't make you happy, but it makes being miserable easier. Okay. Yeah. And what we have to remember is that you can't buy more time, you can buy more team, you can't buy more, you can learn how to look after your team, or you can pay for someone to look after your team if you're crap at looking after your team. Pardon my French. Taking Profit First gives you the opportunity to create a better life for you, your children, your team, your clients, all of that. Because if you have mind freedom, and mind freedom comes from not worrying about money, basically, money and health. If you have mind freedom, you can look after your health, you can look after everything that you need. And that's why it has to be Profit First. Because for people to be first, you have to be able to afford it. And then that goes back to where I was talking about when I launched my business 14 years ago, shopping in Lidl's, had no money. I didn't put myself first. I was panicking. It was awful. I felt terrible. Only when did I start making money could I actually serve my clients better and serve my children better. But we are so conditioned to think, oh no, we can't take money. That's selfish. No, we have to take money because then we can help the world better. People who make a bigger impact have more money. Simple as that.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's fine. No, I just wanted to clarify it because, like I say, it's an objection that I've come up against before with people when we say that. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure everyone knew.
Yeah.
Amanda, thank you so much for that. I'm sure you can all see why Tim and I were so thrilled to be working with Amanda, because as you can see how insightful and effective she is. And I think, Petro, Amanda's last comments will hopefully have answered your questions. But in half an hour, we're going to do a Q&A. So if you've got anything else you want to ask, we'll pick it up then.
Yeah.
That's what things I wanted to. We've got another half an hour of presenting before we do the Q&A. But just to wrap up on what Amanda was saying. Talking about community, we had our PFP member call on Monday, and I thought it'll be really quiet. It's middle of August, no one's going to turn up, and the quality of the discussion was, I'm always blown away by it, and the amount of desire to help each other. I've never seen a group like it, where people really have got each other's backs. You mentioned about Annette running membership. She's absolutely smashed that. She's incredibly good at that. And also she's very helpful at advising other people who want to duplicate that. And the other thing I wanted to mention about community, and we started doing this with our clients, my accounting firm's clients, a while ago. And my initial concern, and I suspect it's crossed the minds of most of the people here, is that clients won't want to share information. They don't want groups, but they want me one-on-one. And the line that I use when I'm trying to persuade a client to join a mastermind and basically release my time is, if you're climbing Everest, would you want to go by yourself or in a group? And they always say they want to go in a group. And that's the power of the mastermind. Not only do you make more money and free up more time, you give the client something more valuable that they can't get somewhere else. It's an incredibly effective way to move your business. So, Amanda, thank you so much for that. Fantastic. The next section is, I think, Amanda, you're going to interview me, aren't you? Because I am one of your clients.
Exactly. Yeah, you are. So, interestingly, actually, Duncan has been one of my clients since I was like, get more leads, get more leads, get more leads, to actually let's get better leads and have fewer clients. So you've been with me for a long time, Duncan, haven't you? Yes. Most recently, you have worked with me one-on-one. I know we've been talking about leveraged advisory, but you've worked with me one-on-one. Actually, that's my team doing most of the work. But we've been working together in Bottle Your Brilliance. And Bottle Your Brilliance is where we get super clear on who's an ideal client. And we then package up your services when we put profit first into that. And then we show you how to deploy it and take it to market, which is very exciting. It takes away a lot of the fear. But before we dive into that, what I would love to know, and you kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but what made you, I'm not even going to talk to you about what made you become a profit first professional. Why did you and Tim beat me to it? Because I wanted to profit first UK. What, like, ridiculous, first person there. But why were you so passionate, even though you've got an accountancy practice and Tim used to run an accountancy practice? What is it that Profit First made you go, this is the key to helping accountants have better lives and do more? What made you do that?
It was that I could see how impactful it was.
Yeah.
I also felt that we as Brits, and maybe it's just me, I'm not casting aspersion on it, and anyone else, we tend to look down on the latest American idea. Yeah. Right? We think it's a bit of a fad. And Tim and I, we met through the Profit First Professionals Network, and we felt that the American organization had probably done as much as they could actually to promote Profit First in the UK, and it needed UK-ifying, so to speak. Yeah. Because the way the book works doesn't quite, the way Mike McCallum explains the system in the book doesn't quite work in the UK. Doesn't quite work for owner's pay and tax and Section 455.
What do you mean it doesn't work for the UK? Because we read the book and we implemented it. I have seen changes in our business since we've done it the UK way. But what does that mean? What does that specifically mean? Why doesn't it work? What bit doesn't work?
Mike talks about the business paying an individual's taxes.
Yep.
And if you do that in the UK, you create an additional tax charge. You can manage it in a certain way, but you've got to be very mindful of it.
Yeah.
And of course, he doesn't go into any of that in the book because it's not relevant to the UK tax law.
Yeah.
It's very relevant to it's not relevant in US tax law. It's very relevant to UK tax law. And so if you follow the system faithfully in the book, you would end up, a business owner would end up with what's called a Section 455 charge, where they've paid their personal taxes with the company.
Okay. And why is that a bad thing?
Because it will cost you a load more tax.
Right. Okay. So
and we all avoid that.
Yeah. So profit first, although we talk about profit first, it enables us to do what we really want to do, which is pay the least amount of tax that we need to pay.
Yeah. Well, it enables us to make sure there's sufficient money coming into our household to pay our bills and pay our holidays. Then you get a quarterly bonus, which comes out of the business and goes towards your personal investments or paying down your mortgage or taking Fridays off or
Putting out the patio, that's for us. It puts our patio.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's quite a patio, I hear. So reverse engineering your business so it delivers what you want personally.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, great. And one of the things that I see that most accountants and bookkeepers struggle with is fear around, I'm not a tax specialist or I'm not a this specialist. So Profit First actually enables you to deliver advisory without being a tax specialist, which is cool. Yeah, awesome. Okay. What do you get from Profit First that they can't get from anywhere else? I've run programs. There are other people that run programs. We show you how to do advisory. What's the difference with Profit First versus?
Oh, hello.
That's right. I think that was Laura. Okay. I've just muted her.
All right. Okay. Thank you. I think and I touched on it earlier that this is not a manual where you take out the steps and you just apply it. What you're getting is the principles, the know what rather than the know how, that you then apply in your business in your own patented way. So what you end up with is templates and a system and a way of delivering advisory, a scalable advisory to your clients that is yours. Mm. And there are great providers out there. I'm going to name one of them, like the Gap. We know them and we think very highly of them. But what they do is they provide you with meeting agendas and a structure in which to deliver services. So if two people buy the Gap, they'll both be delivering this. They'll both be selling the same service to different clients, right?
Yeah.
If you take on Profit First, no one is copying you.
Yeah. Exactly.
No customer can't compare you to someone else. And as a result, your prices go up.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not cookie cutter. That's something that, I've been working with Matthew on as he's been putting together. Matthew's my business partner and husband. I've been putting together his offer. And it's the same thing that you and I did, Duncan, with BYB, was like, where does Profit First fit within this bigger offering that makes you completely unique? And what would be really good is if you could just share how you've taken Profit First and put it into a bigger methodology, and how we've packaged that up, because people are like, oh yeah, but Profit First consultant, I put that on my LinkedIn, Duncan's one, Tim's one, Amanda's one, Matthew's one, we're all saying Profit First consultant. How can we differentiate on the marketing side, or how did I work with you to differentiate? That would be really useful, I think, for those who are Profit First consultants and also those who are thinking about it.
That's a good point. So I've developed under your guidance a product that we've called Destiny, which is aimed at e-commerce businesses.
Yeah.
And that product has 3 different milestones: a CEO system, a success system, and a cash system. Yeah. And Profit First is part of the cash system. Yeah. So Profit First is only part of a third of it. I mean, it's crucial. It's important. It's one of the parts that differentiates us. But also, we productize, so we are talking to a particular community and we are solving their problem and giving them results.
Yeah.
If someone's read the book Profit First and come to us, in an onboarding, in a sales call, we would emphasize that a bit more. But other than that, we tend to talk about cash management.
Yeah. And the amazing thing is you've called it Destiny, right? And you've got Destiny in the e-commerce business. Nobody else can come along now because you're the first to use it in the e-commerce business world. You have a Destiny program or a Destiny mastermind or Destiny something or other. Okay. Nobody can come along and say, oh, we've got a Destiny program for e-commerce businesses. You now have a unique positioning of one. You're a category king. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that terminology before, but you're a category king using that. And I ran a program for a long time called Momentum, and I had a competitor come into the market and offer a program called Momentum. And even though Momentum wasn't trademarked, because I'd been using it just for accountants, I could shut them down with a cease and desist. And like, hey, stop using that. That's my word. People know me for that. And that's the thing with having a unique methodology and weaving Profit First into something a little bit bigger, like your Destiny, is that nobody can use that now. So you just grow Destiny and you become a category king and nobody can compete with you. You've got that positioning. And that's really powerful, really powerful. I think that's awesome. How does it make you feel as a business owner, having in one pocket Profit First and in another pocket a methodology that you can go kind of, like, I gotcha kind of thing, you know? How does that make you feel?
Well, you need something to stand out, right? I mean, there are lots of e-commerce accountants out there, and I know some of them really well, and we work together. You know, we help each other out, and we're all in different parts of the market. But if I was quite close to them, we wouldn't be so friendly because we'd be on each other's turf. And there are more and more e-commerce accountants coming onto the market, and so we had to do something that made us different, and made us premium. So having that weapon to use is a key part of getting leads through the door and delivering a high quality product and keeping that client on, because ours is now a subscription model. We want people to sign up and be on board for as long as possible.
Yeah, I think something that really stood out for me there is about the high value. And, you know, when we were asking, or I asked people, you know, how much they want to charge for their services, you have to have something that people understand. And I was presenting one of my programs to a prospect yesterday, and because I have a methodology, I could do it on a PowerPoint slide, unpack it, and they weren't buying, oh, you're going to get clear on your offer and you're going to be able to offer advisory. They were buying something that was a methodology that was in a model, in an image, and they felt very, very safe and secure and was like, yes, that's for me. And that is a massive shift, that when you can present your methodology in a way that's completely unique, people see the value when you can unpack it and see the value. Awesome. Very cool. Okay. Duncan, did you want to talk about how we're working together and kind of what we're doing with Profit First and the work together with Do you want to touch on that?
So do you mean in terms of what you're doing with?
Yeah, with BYB, yeah, and with BYB,
yeah, sure.
that would be kind of a good thing to touch on just to wind up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, no, that makes sense. So Amanda obviously runs her own business, and I reached out to Amanda, as you know, a couple of years ago, and we started doing the Brilliance program, which Amanda described to me as hand holding. And I would describe more as face punching, because it was hard. She made me work hard to get the stuff out of my head onto paper. It was difficult, and so I could see the value of that for our members, and so we reached out to you to kind of formalize how we could extract your expertise for our members, and we now have that in two different ways. So we have two memberships for Profit First: Standard and Accelerator. Under Standard, you get certification, you get lots of support, and you get group support with Amanda. And with the Accelerator program, it's a 2-year program where the price is high for that 2 years, and it drops down from the first month of year 3. But in that process, you go through a much more intensive program, which includes an on-site visit where me and Tim will come to your premises for 2 days and look through your client portfolio and make sure that you're niching and increasing prices. And then you start the Bottle Your Brilliance program, which is a 6-month program, And then we are seeking to basically just drive the benefits for the rest of the 2-year program to increase your revenue. And there are guarantees in that where we guarantee you a return on your investment. So in the accelerator program, you get what I've just been describing in terms of what Amanda's been delivering for me, which is we'll call it hand holding, Amanda, shall we? Because
not face punching. Hand holding is much nicer.
It's hand holding, but as an accountant, I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at, and I tend to do marketing activity and I get it to 90% and I don't deploy it. But the benefit of this program is things happen to a schedule, and I've ended up with marketing assets and expertise and a campaign. There's a wall next to me that you can't see with a year planned out of webinars and activity and things that are going to happen, and they're going to drive further leads and conversions and sales into my firm. And in doing that, my firm's worth much more money, because if someone wants to buy it, it's got a predictable lead generation. And that for me is the holy grail. Once we've got that, we're substantially there, then we are away. The business is worth way more than a normal price earnings ratio for an accounting firm.
Yeah. So if you couple the fact that you're increasing your business value because you've got all of the marketing assets, plus you're running profit first and taking as much out of it as possible, it's a win-win.
Absolutely.
Rich in life and in business.
Well, that's the idea, Amanda. That's why I'm here.
Yes, exactly. Awesome. Is there anything else that you want to share on that? Have we covered everything we need to cover?
In terms of bottle of brilliance.
Well, bottle of brilliance or around. So, okay, let me just rewind slightly. When Profit first came to the UK, you could become Profit First certified. Now, you and Tim haven't come up with the idea of working with me lightly. You haven't come up with the idea of more hand-holding for the clients. Why are you doing this? Like, why can't they just get Profit First certified and that's enough? Why should they be looking at this? Why?
I think that the why is just to make sure things happen in a compressed timescale.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, before we know it, a year can go by, 2 years can go by, and we've read the book and we've consumed the content and we've done the homework, but we haven't necessarily got the benefit out of it.
Yeah.
And the reason that we designed the program in the way that we have, so that there's, the Bottle Your Brilliance program is critical to it, as is the visit that Tim and I make to our members' premises. We're not doing this remotely. This is not over a phone call. We turn up at their premises and they prepare stuff in advance of that, because we need to make sure that things are done.
Yeah.
Because those things need to be done in order for the benefits to flow, and they're not always comfortable. This is not an accountant's comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's why we've created this methodology to drive through the changes. So you burst through the clouds and you get the benefits.
Yeah, amazing. Anne has said, what's the difference between the standard membership and the accelerator program? Is that something that you want to go into now, or should she book a call with you and run through with you and Tim? What's the best way for her to find out the difference?
I think the best way for us is we can ping you our brochure, and if you'd like to make an appointment, we'd love to talk to you about it. The standard is a fixed fee per month, which is I think $797 a month, Tim.
Yep, $795 a month. You can find out more information on the website that I've put the link in the chat.
We have a policy. I mean, the prices go up over time, but we have a policy that whenever you join, at that price is the price that you keep forever. Yeah. So in terms of inflation, it's actually going down over time.
Yeah.
And in that, certification is at your own pace, and you don't get the Bottle of Brilliance program or the on-site visit from me and Tim, but you get a lot of support on Zoom, and people are benefiting hugely from that membership. And we've just introduced the new accelerator program. So that's a 2-year start and finish program where the price is £2,000 a month for 24 months, and it goes down to $795. And as part of that investment, we have got a guarantee on it. You'll make your money back. Guarantee it.
Yeah. It's not just about the money, though. It's not just about the money. It's you wake up every day confidence. You wake up every day knowing what you have to do in your business. You wake up every day making a difference to people. It's like, don't get me wrong, guarantees are great for accountants because they're nervous, and that's the personality. But actually, it's the clarity, the confidence, and then the cash that you get at the end of it. That is a powerful combination that Profit First does give you. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
We're in the business of transformations.
Mm-hmm.
First professional, we're in the business of transforming your business, just like my accounting business is in the business of transforming my clients' businesses.
Mm-hmm.
My accounting business has been transformed by working with Amanda, and we are seeking for other people to benefit from that. So in that way, I'm not just talking the talk. I'm doing it as well. I've seen the impact it makes.
Yeah, and for me, it's like I'm really good at the marketing side, and I can get clients with my eyes closed. Profit First has transformed my personal life, even though we've done it on my business. So the reason I work with you guys is because exactly the same thing is I've only got 50% of the formula. When we work together, it's 100% of the formula, and that's why it works so well. Yeah.
I think as well, it's good to point out with that, Amanda, that you've actually got the support of Matthew as well, who is a certified Profit First professional. So you get the support directly from him as well. He's gone through all of our training and is one of our members of our community, as you are.
Oh yeah, he's phenomenal. And we played at it before he got certified. And the certification, I thought he would do with his eyes closed and be like, yeah, that was easy. But actually, there's one thing doing it from the book. There's a whole nother thing becoming certified and really understanding what it is. The book's great, but it's not what you need. You need the certification.
It's surprising how people soon realize that once they've joined and they start to go through the certification process. And it's a bit of an eye opener, isn't it? About it's not actually that simple, but actually once you overcome that, it becomes a lot simpler.
Yeah. If you know, you know. If you don't know till you join.
There's one other point which I don't think we've covered yet is that obviously we're just the UK arm, and there's a global organisation. So by being a member of the UK Profit First professionals, you also benefit from the global activities. So that the global support calls. There's a conference once a year in America. It's next month. I'll be off to New York. They charge an additional fee for attendance, but you have access to it by virtue of being a member. And it's an international community of I think 700 firms. I'm not entirely sure of firms based in America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Holland, Austria. I think that's right. They're the main territory. So it's a terrific group to be involved with a global reach, and somebody will be able to help you with whatever your problem is.
Yeah, for sure.
So. Amanda, thank you so much for that. I think Tim, you're gonna show us the testimonial videos. So we prepared a 5-minute video for our stand at the digital accountancy show with some of our members, and there's a chance for us to shut up and you can hear a bit from some of our current members.
Bear with me, I'm looking for it right now.
I'll make a bit of small talk, Tim, while you find the right button to press.
I'm hoping it loads okay. Here we go. Can we see that? Oh, hang on, that's the wrong. Yeah, no, hang on. Bear with me. But you knew something had to go wrong at some point, didn't it? Right, let's go on to that. Sorry. Can you see that?
So we've got it, Tim. Go for it.
Just loading. Sharing a YouTube video is not always easy on Zoom. Can you hear it okay?
Yeah.
It just spoke to me straight away because the practice that I worked at previously were doing nothing proactively to help people save taxes, or they would be going the opposite way and doing these massive cash flow forecasts, which for a lot of small businesses were just overkill, and people were just looking at numbers and doing nothing with them. Whereas Profit First, you have the 5 or 6 simple percentages to twice the month, and it just made it simple, and it just ticked all the boxes for me straight away, because I was tired of having conversations with people that their VAT was due and they spent it, or they had a tax bill coming up and they had to save any money for it. But Profit First answered all those questions straight away, and it also helped people themselves for doing what they do, which I find a lot of business owners don't do at all. They work stupid hours to pay someone else's wages, and they don't enjoy it. They set up could work for themselves but end up working for employees or their suppliers. It was frustrating as an accountant to see such lovely people going through hard times because they just weren't paying themselves right.
UK members have got access to yourself and Tim and the rest of the team to actually UKify, if there is such a word, the Americanisms. So you've got the experience of implementing it across various companies in the UK already. So I think that's a great advantage that UK members have potentially got as well.
Profit First is such an amazing idea. While such a simple concept, it's something which just hasn't been rolled out as much as what it should have done. And when I joined the community, it even added more depth and context to things I was doing already, and allowed me to translate that into business terms, help a lot more business owners, replicate what we do on a grander scale.
The whole training experience was really smooth. It was enlightening because actually a lot of what you apply is in your own business. So got the chance to test it with 3 beta clients, and the feedback was amazing from my clients. And to be honest, it was almost instantaneous within weeks, probably within maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks, that we started seeing a benefit from becoming a Profit First member. So before I even finished the training, I was really keen to get started to really, to be honest, to leverage the Profit First brand, because it's an amazing book, it's an amazing system, and I'm very passionate about it. So I really wanted to get it out there, and we've just gone from strength to strength. The clients have loved it. We've kind of evolved our offering over time, and we've got a lot of confidence from support from Tim, from Duncan, and also the whole community, because there's some members in there who have been Profit First members for a number of years, and it's growing. It's really exciting. I think it's headed in a really good place, and particularly the Profit First in the UK is only going to get stronger and stronger.
We get a lot of support from yourselves and for that Mike and Ron in America to help us actually implement the system fully, give the clients the proper reports that they need, understand the roadmap they need to follow to achieve the percentages that need to. Obviously, when we first started working with Profit First, it is very Americanized, the percentages. So it's now more adapted to the UK market, which is great. But yeah, people who read the book aren't getting that up-to-date information like we do. We're promoting the brand. They're not trying to undercut each other, or it's not the race to the bottom. We know how much value Profit First brings to businesses as a whole.
It was life-changing, and you're like, but this is only just starting, and it's like, oh my god, and you're getting that sort of reaction, and I could really see that it was helping people, and the questions people were asking, I mean, they're challenging the framework again. They're probably sort of like reading the book, what's it? I'm not sure how that works, and you sort of like make it fit how they're doing things already. Little tweaks here and there, and it's like, it's really rewarding.
Welcome to the Digital Accountancy Show. I'm so happy you are about to see Tim and Duncan present on Profit First. My name is Mike Michalowicz. I am the author and co-founder of Profit First Professionals, and I partnered with Tim and Duncan to bring Profit First to the UK. They are the master licensees of Profit First Professionals. What this means is they are going to teach you the process for implementing Profit First in your business. And if you help clients grow their businesses through accounting work or bookkeeping work or coaching work, they're going to teach you not just how to make your business profitable, to make all your clients' businesses profitable. It's rooted in behavioral psychology. At the end of the day, we're all humans. We all follow our behaviors. By taking your profit first, literally taking that cash and hiding it from your business, you're going to reverse engineer what your business must do to sustain its expenses and ensure that profitability is secured away. It is a wildly simple system. It doesn't mean it's easy. And that's why I think you're going to love Tim and Duncan's class. They're going to guide you through the process that you need to stick with. That's the key, sticking with it. And when you do, you'll be permanently profitable. There's a saying that small business is the backbone of the economy. Well, I dug into the research, and I hate to say this, but small business is not the backbone of the economy. Small business is the economy. Every business I studied, big business or anything in between, started off as a small idea, as a small business, someone starting in a garage, and they grew it to that size. We, the global economy, need your success. It starts with you. I'm wishing you permanent profitability. Enjoy the workshop.
Here we go. So as you can tell, that was originally recorded for the Digital Accountancy Show just recently in June. But yeah, we wanted to show you, keep it on so that you could hear Mike talking, but also show you what our members have got to say, because it's more important coming from them than it is from us. And I think the one thing I want to add before we go to Q&A, Duncan, if that's okay, is the standard membership is the core membership, the core offering, and that will always remain the same. And that will get you where you want to go. But the accelerator program is exactly what it says. It accelerates everything. It's going to give you a faster impact, and we're going to get you towards your goals a lot quicker. And that's why we're working in collaboration with Amanda. We're putting a lot more effort and a lot more energy into that program so that we can help the people that want to join that program get to what they want to achieve in a much faster way. And it's going to be a lot more impactful for you. But that said, for both memberships, we don't just accept everybody. You do have to apply, and we do have to have an initial conversation, and then we determine whether we're good fits and whether you're right for either of our memberships at all. And if you are, which membership would be the most suited to you at this current stage in your journey and where you're at. So I've put the link a couple of times in the chat box. I'm going to put it in one more time. Basically, all you need to do is click on it. It takes you to a form. It's about 5 questions to answer. It's not onerous. Just fill those in, hit the apply button, and we can set up a meeting and have a conversation with you about whether you're a good fit for joining us, but also for you to learn more about us and learn more about what Profit First Professionals and Amanda's Bottle Your Brilliance program is all about. Thanks, Duncan.
Thank you, Tim. So thank you to everybody. I know we've had you on the call. I really appreciate that. So big a lot of your day to give us, and we are very grateful. Has anybody got any questions?
I think we've answered most as we've gone along, haven't we, to be fair?
If they don't have questions, should we get them to put GTG, good to go, in the chat box so we know? Because do you know what? I hate tumbleweed. I hate nobody doing anything. So either put in a question or put good to go. Good to go. Cool. Awesome. Okay, cool.
Okay, let's wrap it up there. Sorry, Amanda.
I was just going to say, I think that as a business owner, not an accountant, for me, I could never, ever, ever get any value from an accountant if they didn't implement Profit First in my business. I couldn't get the value. My life completely changed when I did Profit First. And it changed again when Matthew actually got certified and did it properly. But that's a whole nother thing. It's like, oh, okay, that's a really cool question. Pamela said, how is it different from systems like Sift or Fathom? Duncan and Tim, you might be more equipped to answer that question. Have you ever used Sift or Fathom?
Yes, I've used them. I've used Fathom quite a lot. I know what Sift. I mean, they're software packages, and they're very good for reporting. And Profit First is the membership organisation where we support you to help your clients make more money. So you might well use Fathom in your firm, but you might also join Profit First to help you create a product and deliver high value advisory to your clients. They're different categories, basically. They're different things.
One's
I think
the other one.
If you watch the beginning of the presentation, I think it'll become clear.
I think for me, Profit First isn't a system. It's a behavior-based strategy. And it's a way of creating a habit on how you look after the money in your business and how you encourage your clients to look after the money in their business. And then you take it to that next level by having those strategy sessions with them. Now, as Amanda said, whether that's in a one-to-one or whether that's in a group community, mastermind environment obviously is the ideal way to eventually get to. You have to take small steps to achieve success with Profit First. And likewise, you take small steps to change the way you run in your business and how you're serving your clients. So for me, it's more, it's completely different for me, is the way I see it. And so, yeah, you know, if you want to learn more, obviously just book in a call with us and we can go through exactly what it is and give you more information. But if you haven't read the book and you're watching this, I encourage you to read the book, give yourself the idea of what the profit first methodology is, easy for you to say, and just, you know, understand the concept of the basic principles of profit first. Think about whether that's something you're interested. Thank you, Carla, for waving it to us. Think about whether it's something you're interested in exploring, whether it resonates with you. For me, I got 2 chapters in and I was applying to join Profit First Professionals when it was based in the US. So, you know, it either lights that light bulb above your head or it doesn't. If it does, then you need to talk to us and we can see if we can help you, because there's a lot more room for more members to join us. There's a lot of potential for people utilizing Profit First and being a Profit First professional in the UK right now. There's a lot of awareness growing for Profit First in the UK. Now is the time. So, you know, I would challenge you, can you afford not to join now? Can you afford to miss out on this opportunity? Because in 6 months, 9 months, 12 months time, we might not have space. So we're looking for people ready to take action now. Yes. Yeah, Pamela, sorry. Yeah, Pamela. So Pamela, yeah, you're based in South Africa. Yeah, Profit First is still applicable over there. If you were wanted to join or find out more, you would need to apply through the US branch at profitfirstprofessionals.com, because we have the license for the UK. So we're responsible for Profit First Professionals in the UK. There's not a licensee in South Africa, so you would need to go through profitfirstprofessionals.com. We can provide that link for you if you'd like us to at some point. Carla, what do you only do 6? What do you mean by that, Carla? I'm not understanding.
Why do we only do?
Sorry, I was meant to say why.
Why do you only do 6? Oh, so that's for the accelerator program. So for the accelerator program, we're being very strategic about when we allow people join. So we're doing an intake right now. We've already got 2 people joining. There's space for just a small handful of more. And that starts the 1st of September. So if you're interested in that program, you need to contact us really quickly. The reason we're only doing that on a 6-monthly basis right now is to give ourselves time to get the first people through the program, because they are the first ones. So this program is a brand new launch. It's really important to us that we are able to give them the appropriate amount of time that we need to give them. And as you know, we're running a business in the Profit First way. We don't want to be working 40, 50, 60 hours a week. We want to spend our time in the right way, be able to have the right energy levels and enthusiasm levels when we are working with our members. Who else has put? Deb has mentioned, we haven't looked back, highly recommend. Thank you, Deb. And Deb is actually smashing it as a Profit First professional, I can honestly say.
Hey, Pamela, maybe you'll be approaching head office to acquire the South African territory. Who knows? Who knows?
Maybe I'll do that.
Not if I get there first, man.
Oh, for heaven's sake, you keep pipping me to the post.
All right. I think let's wrap it up then. And thank you everybody so much, especially to Amanda for doing such a fantastic presentation with lots of insight there. And if you would like to find out more, please do click on the link that Tim just put into the chat. And we would love to have a conversation with you. And in the meantime, have a great day. And thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Thank you, guys. Pamela, I just put the link in for the home base link for you as well.